All right, people. My class just ended. I apologize profusely for being this late, but my class just ended. Nothing I could do about that right now. I apologize. I really, really do. But when my peeps pay for a class, they got to get their money's worth, is what I'm saying. So what I'm going to do now is, because I don't see anything happening on the screen here for some reason. I see no chat. I see nothing. I turned it on. So I am here, as I always say, to answer your makeup artist questions at 8:55 instead of 7. How you like that? Yeah. So listen, I'm pulling, just in case this thing doesn't work here. I guess I'll pull up the YouTube on my phone, just in case it goes out like it did last time, and then it really pissed me off. So here we go. I'm just pulling things up right now, just in case. Please tell me the chat is going to appear on this thing. Okay, so yes, so I just finished like about 10 minutes ago doing increase your speed here in my home. Because of COVID, I can only do one person at a time. And so we did increase your speed. I'm not going to give away how fast she got, but she got faster. But yes, so I am doing the final roundup of increase your speed for 2019, really 2020. This class was, all of my increase your speed classes here lately was supposed to take place in 2020. And so I'm finally getting back to, getting to the students that literally paid for it in 2019. And so I'm happy to do that, but it is taking a little longer to get to everybody. I will be opening up Increase Your Speed classes now. I can have either individual classes or we can do group classes. Yes, because it's very vital that you speed the hell up. Okay, that's what I got to say about that. It's very important that you speed up. But yeah, so Increase Your Speed is going to come back probably, what is this month? June, July, August, probably September 2021 to get that going for you people, because I've just done several Increase Your Speeds in the last several months. So I'm kind of digging it. And so I'm just very happy to be able to do it for you guys. So anyway, it is your girl, makeup artist DeShawn Hatcher, waiting for somebody to say something on here. And if you're not going to say anything, that's okay, because I'm late and I know it. What did I want to talk to you about since I'm here? What can we talk about? I didn't have a lesson plan tonight because I knew I was doing the class. And I also knew, that you guys would ask me questions, but I didn't realize it was going to be this late. Let's see. In my magic box, what do I have? So you know what? When my student was here, she was talking about all the things that I talk about. Especially, she read the book in Assisting Rules, which is the book I wrote, Assisting Rules, the Ultimate Guide to Assisting Makeup Artists and Hairstylists in Beauty, Fashion, and Print. And she had made a point of saying that I'm so glad that she got to meet me in person. And she said one of the reasons why is because she read the book and she realized that, yeah, in order for me to get to know artists, not just me in general, but when you want to, let's say, assist somebody and they actually teach, the best thing you could do is to take their class. Because when you take their class, they get to know who you are, correct? And so that's important. It's really important. It's like, sometimes, like when I do classes, I'm looking sometimes for assistants, and I know other people who do classes as well. They're looking for people in those classes that, you can connect with, and, who follows orders very well and all that kind of stuff. And it's really important that you guys seize those opportunities to take classes from people that you really love. You love their work. You may love their work ethic, that kind of thing. It's really important that that's a beautiful way of introducing yourself to these artists. And you miss opportunities when you don't do that. And, you know, I know that sometimes classes can be quite pricey. So I understand that. But at the same time, sometimes I meet people. I met her when I went to speak. I was a guest speaker at MUD. And she was sitting there in the front row. And that's the first time I had met her. And so it's just a matter of, you know, meeting people and getting to know people and MUD didn't cost any, I guess it cost money because you got to go to school in order to see the lecture, but it didn't cost her anything to kind of sit there in the front row and get to know me, I guess, and listen to some of the stuff I had to say. And she registered in my mind. Even when she registered for the class, I knew who she was, is the point. And so each time that you guys get the opportunity to meet somebody that you happen to admire, you like their work, you need to take it. Like a lot of people say, oh, how do you get to know these people, DeShawn? You know people. I'm like, because I got to meet them most of the time at shows. And I got to meet them before, you know, my career blew up. You know what I mean? I got to meet them. And it's important that you meet them. I mean, when you like the makeup show, I believe was this weekend here in New York. Well, the next one that's going to come up, I think you should go to the makeup show. And I think you should. We're walking around the makeup show. We're there. You need to go meet them. You need to walk up to people and say hello. You shouldn't just go to the makeup show to buy. I keep saying it. I know the people who run the makeup show is going to be like, DeShawn, stop saying that. But I really think you should go to the makeup show to meet people and to network and not really focus on makeup all the time, not really focus on like product. You need to focus on your career. Product is cool, buy the product, but you really need to go for a purpose. Like you should be looking at the roster of artists that are teaching, right? And you should say to yourself, I want to meet that person. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to meet that person. And you need to hone in. You need to know where their class is going to be, what level, because, you know, in the makeup show, they have different floors. So what floor is this person going to be on? Can I sneak in before they get into class and say hello? Can I, you know, what can I do? Well, when the class is over, what can I do? Can I stand outside the class and introduce myself? Then you have to seize the moment. You cannot just sit back and think people are going to walk by you at the makeup show or IMAX and say, we want you. It doesn't work that way. You have to work so hard at introductions, and you have to work so hard at networking. And if you don't seize those moments, your career might not, it's just going to ink along, you know? And you guys are always talking about, I want a mentor, I want this, I want that. And that's great, but you have to work to get that mentor. You have to work at it. It's not something that just falls into your lap. Mentorship is a great thing. And I know I kind of poo-poo it. I kind of poo-poo it because, how can I explain it? I poo-poo mentorship in a way because a lot of you think that's the free way of getting help. Because there's a lot of free crap in this industry that people seem to be fixated on. And I don't want you to be fixated on the free. I want you to be fixated in your career. And in your career, you might have to pay for some stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it is a good place to lay a foundation of, hey, check me out, get to know me kind of thing when you go to these shows and you meet people. So it's not, like I said, it's not just about makeup. And I really wish people would take the shows even more seriously and stop worrying about discounts and worry about your career. Your career, I've been here 20 years. I'm going on my 21st year. That's how long it is. Much longer than that eyeliner lasted me. Much longer than anything that I purchased, except for some brushes. But it's like much longer than all that stuff, you know, my career. You have to be so career-minded when you go to these shows. You have to, like, you know, especially the makeup show. The makeup show is really good for free education. And they normally have a spot in the back of the makeup show that you go sit and watch the education as it comes. I told you one year I literally just sat there, or like I did my rounds I said hello, and I was like, I just want to watch the education all day long. And literally, I sat there almost the whole day and just watched this amazing education just come and go. And it was amazing. And it was all for free. You paid your entry to get into the place, and now it's free. So go get your education. And I was sitting there with my assistant, and she really wanted to be in the theater. And she got to meet people in the theater. She got to meet people who I believe, what did she do? She was a Tony nominated or winner, I think, makeup artist for a few of the Broadway shows. She got to meet them. She got to have a rapport with them. She got to give her card. She got to do all these things just by sitting there in a free educational thing that the makeup show gives. So it's not enough for you guys to just go and buy lipstick. You really have got to go and really be proactive in your careers. If you are not proactive in your careers, it's just going to go, ploop, it's going to go, and you're going to be so upset. And you can be like, I wish I listened to DeShawn. She told me what to do. I'm trying to tell you what to do. I'm trying to fill you in. I'm trying to tell you how to do things, not so much in a shortcut manner. I'm not trying to tell you to do things in a shortcut manner, but I'm also trying to tell you, y'all got to get off your behinds and do stuff with your career. You got to. You got to. The makeup show is open. The Powder Group is another amazing place for you to meet artists. The Powder Group has a bridal. The Powder Group has a bridal. My brain is farting. It has a bridal. It's not an expo. It's a class. It's like a 2-day, I believe, bridal class. Teaching makeup artists how to do the business of brides. And that's a great thing for you to do. That's an amazing networking event for you to do. Is anybody taking that? Is anybody going to, it's only like $150 or something like that. Who is taking the Powder Group up on that amazing class, right? So there's all these things that are happening that if you say to me, well, DeShawn, I never heard of the Powder Group before, what do I do? Then you have to learn how to Google. It's called Google. Google makeup classes, Google, right? I mean, I think us old schoolers, and when I say old schoolers, I mean old persons, okay, me, okay? But I think our issue with so many people is they don't Google. And it's like, if you Google makeup classes, if you Google whatever you're interested in, that joint just comes up. It just flies, it comes up, and you get to see who is offering what. And you also get to research all the places that are giving you classes. So if I tell you the Powder Group, you hear that word or the name, the Powder Group, type that joint in and then look it up. And you will see that people say good things. Some people might say some bad things. Some people might say whatever, but you get to do the research. Nobody's going to say anything bad about the Powder Group, by the way. It's just a nice place. It's just a beautiful place to take a class. But all of these things you have to Google because you're going to miss it. What's that place called? What is it called? Crap. Eventful event. Oh, crap. I can't remember. Evite. She don't remember. Anyway, that place that lists all the events, I think it also comes across your Facebook page as well. You need to start checking all of that out so you too can get your education on. See, the thing about makeup artists that always kills me is that there are so many continuing education things that are going on, right? So many continuing educations, but makeup artists tend not to take them. Whereas if you're a hairstylists do continuing education all the time throughout their entire career. They take those things, but makeup artists don't tend to do that. And I don't understand why. You have to hone your career. You have to hone your craft. You have to keep up on it. Hey, Miss Camille. Hi, sweetie. Thank you. Because, you come correct for me, Camille. You come correct for me. Eventbrite. Thank you, my darling. Yes, Eventbrite. So Eventbrite is one of those things that you should be looking into and seeing and especially the thing about Eventbrite that I kind of like, is that it's in your neighborhood, it's in your hood. So if you're in Chicago, if you're here, you're there. It'll give you what makeup education that you can look for in your neighborhood. So you don't even have to travel to New York or whatever. It'll give you local things. That's dope. People need to be looking into that. I'm not saying you have to kind of like take every class that you see. No, but if you do your research on the educator is one of the most important things, because like, listen, I tell you all the time, I'm an editorial, I do TV, I'm a fashion girl, that kind of thing. I have specialties that I do, but who am I to be teaching you people theater? I don't do theater. But what happens if DeShawn just popped up with a theater class? Wouldn't you want to look up your teacher? Wouldn't you want to see what kind of career they've had? And then all of a sudden, here comes DeShawn. Well, I took that one class in the powder group. I took that one class in the powder group. I think I am going to teach you theater. Come on. If you looked up my resume, you say, well, she really don't know what the hell she's doing in theater. Why would I look up theater? Why would I take a theater class from her? You understand? Thank you very much. That's really good. Can you get more clients? Can you get more? Thank you so much. That's really good too. You can get more clients. You mean from Eventbrite? Yeah, I think you're saying from Eventbrite. Yeah, man, you can get more clients from Eventbrite, because Eventbrite is one of those things that forecasts, that shoots out your event. And so people from all over will come to your people you ain't never even thought of. Okay, listen, I did a class for, my brain just farted. I didn't really eat today. I've been teaching all day, so forgive me. But crap. Oh, Manhattan Warehouse Supply, when they had a beautiful makeup floor, they asked me to come in and do a class for them. I believe it was the Women of Color class, because I think I was showcasing the exclusion. Lord, she's tired. I said exclusion. Did you? I said exclusion. The inclusion palette. I think I was pushing the inclusion palette at the time. And my class was packed. It was packed because they put it on Eventbrite. It was packed. There was not a seat in the house. They were completely filled up, completely. And so this is what I'm talking about. So Eventbrite, yes, Miss Camille, you are right that you can get more clients that way, because they'll see the people. When people go to Eventbrite, they're looking for events to go to, right? They're looking for an event to go to, and that's the whole point. And honey, I ain't never seen these people before. I ain't never seen them before, but there they were, completely packed full class. So, again, these are people who want, they could have been, I don't know what the hell they were, but they were there. Because I'm thinking some I know, some were pro makeup artists and some were consumers, which is fine. But the point is, everybody was there to get a continuing education on makeup. It wasn't just about selling inclusion. It was about explaining women of color makeup. It was about explaining product and how product works and all this. It was explaining things, and demoing. I did a demo. So all of that is really important. Eventbrite is really good. Y'all need to check out Eventbrite. Y'all need to get your continuing education on, like, for real. Like, I makeup artists got to do better. We really do. As a collective unit, we have to do better in terms of education. Not because I have an increase your speed class. No, because you really need to learn different ways of doing things. I know that whenever I took a class from somebody, when I took Billy B's class, I took one class from Billy B, and then just one little thing he did shifted my whole brain. It just went clink. And I said, oh, I think I'm going to try that. Then I assisted several people, and they would do stuff. And I go, clink, I'm going to try that. That's what the class is about. That's what these things are about. It's not so much emulating everything that we do, but sometimes it's just that one little thing that we might do that you just were like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And that's what it is. And so that's why it's so important to do that. Like here lately, I have, I keep telling you I'm going to come from my, eventually, not now because I ain't finished, but I have a little garden spot where I live now. I will be shooting from there one day when it's almost finished. It's going to be finished in October. No, I'm just joking, because it feels like it's going to be finished in October. But I know it's going to be finished probably in 2 weeks. I'm the queen of impatient. I want this over with. Anyway, it's a long story. So anyway, I have this gentleman helping me. His name is Brian. He's a really lovely guy. Recommended, like a handy guy, recommended to me by another person who lives here. And, I'm thinking like the way I think. I'm a handy person, but I certainly am not a construction person. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And to watch him do things, it just never dawned on me to do what he does. Like, I'm putting up stuff so I can put some sheer curtains down. It's a long story. It's going to be pretty when it's done. And I'm putting up these sheer curtains, and the pole is all 8 feet up, right? And I was like, gee, I got to get a ladder. Because I can't reach the pole. And he's a little taller than me. Honey, he went up there and pulled the pole down. He just pulled the pole down and did whatever he needed to do. And I was like, I would have never done that. I would have gotten up on a ladder 8 feet high and done that. He was like, yeah, no, just pull the pole down. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that's what I'm talking about. When you hang out with people who know what they're doing, then they're going to show you different ways of doing something. And your brain is going to go like that. Your brain is going to explode when you see them do things. I remember watching Billy B. The thing that Billy had done, he did 2 things that I stole. I always say stole, but I always give him credit. He packed his makeup in those insulator bags, the ones that I tell you about, those lunch bags, because they're insulated and they're thick. And so if you throw it, you shouldn't break your makeup. Well, I saw him do that, and I said, oh, you know what? I should get me some of those bags. So I got some bags, and I had been using them forever until I got, what everybody else has now, the bag with the compartments. But I still will use those insulator bags to this day. Then Billy had done the trick, which I had never seen any makeup artist do. He took the glue, he was doing eyelashes, and he putting on fake eyelashes, I should say. He took that glue, squoze it out, took a liner brush and went across it like he was doing like eyeliner, and then he put the lash on. I ain't never seen anybody do that in my life. I was like, what's happening? And I was like, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do that. And I saw him do that, and I was just like, that was the most ingenious thing I've ever seen. And ever since then, I was putting lashes on like that, because I used to have such a tough time getting the lashes to stick and the duo glue and all that stuff. Sure enough, I do it now. I've been doing that now for 10, 12 years because of Billy. And so those are the 2 things that I picked up from him. Was like, wow, that is really dope. I'm going to try that. And I tried it, and it just worked like a charm. And I said, oh my God, this is something new. This is amazing. But again, how would I have known that if I didn't take the class? How would I have known that? And like I said, you can pay for the class. There are free classes at these shows. There might even be some free Eventbrite classes that you guys can go to if you can't technically afford to pay a lump sum, some crazy lump sum for a class. There might be some free classes. The training is only going to go but so far. But there are free classes out there. But you guys got to get your training on. You really got to get the training on. Don't get complacent in the way you do things. Don't get complacent. Because you'd be amazed at when you're around senior artists and the way they work. Something in your brain is going to go click. Something in your brain is going to shift. And you're going to be like, damn, I never even looked at it like that. I never even thought about that. I remember the first time I was on, I think you guys already know, I'm a nail tech. So first I started nails and technically, I guess, 1996, technically graduated in 1997. So it was like 1996, 1997. All right. So I'm a nail tech since then. And so I had an agent at one point just for nails. And, but I hated doing nails. This is a long story. It's a long story. I just hated doing nails. I just hated it. But anyway, so I was on a set and I was doing this top models nails and stuff. And I was watching the makeup artist. I think that was the thing for me. Like I would be on set and I would watch the makeup artist do something. And I'm just like, I wish that was me. It was killing me to be on set watching makeup art. I didn't realize at the time that it was a blessing that I was on set with these types of makeup artists. I just kept longing to be the makeup artist that I couldn't fathom the gift that I had gotten. I was too busy crying. I was too busy crying on the inside. I just wish that were me, but it wasn't me. But watching them work changed the way I did my makeup. It changed the way I set up my table. It changed the way I set up my bag. It changed the way a lot, because I would look at these top makeup artists and I'm going, their kit is this big. Why is their kit this big? What's happening? How come they didn't depot their stuff? I mean, it was like, child, once I saw that, I was like, yo, you doing something wrong. Hey, people, Celeste Moore. Hello, beautiful. Shamika. Hello, Miss Shamika. Hi, guys. So sorry that I am 5 million years late. I don't know if you heard me at the top of the show, but I was teaching my Increase Your Speed class today. It got off a little late, but she got here, which is great. And so that's why I'm a little pushed back today because of the Increase Your Speed. I did not want to miss you people tonight. I didn't. So I was like, I'm coming on here and talking to you guys. Marilyn. Hello, Marilyn. Hey, DeShawn, I got 2 of those Omnia 265 brushes, and they are the bomb, aren't they? Oh, my God. The hair feels super soft with just the right of firmness. I ordered a couple of eye brushes after. Yay, thanks for the rec. I love me a good brush. Love it. I'm so happy. I love that. I'm really a big Royal and Langnickel person. I really love their brushes. When they come out with certain lines, I'm just like, oh, what did you make this time? But the Omnia brushes just make my brain snap. I love me some Omnia. You know, I said last week that I wasn't going to get no more brushes, right? And we all know that I have lied to you and to myself. I'm going to get more brushes. I will. I can't help it. It's a sickness. I love those brushes. I brought the whole set. Yes, Celeste Moore. Yes, I'm telling you, they're great. They're just great brushes. And they're to me, especially when there's a sale, they are so economical. Like, how could you not? Like, they had a brush set for $50. I think I sent you, I put it on the community board. I believe I put the brush sets up, and I believe that whole brush set was $50. If I were just starting out, I would have gotten myself 3 brush sets. 3 for $150. That's what I would have done. Not just starting out. That's what you want. You want a sale like that. I showed you guys, I think I showed in my brush video on here that I showed you Italian Badger brushes that I bought when I first started. And those 6 brushes, or 6 or 5, I can't remember, I still have them, was like $150 for those brushes, though I still have them. But they were $150 for those 6 brushes. Not $150 for all that in a good quality brush, okay? That's what I'm talking about. I use their paint brushes for makeup. They're great too. Yes, I do too, Miss Shamika. I do too. I can only imagine how good the makeup artistry brushes are. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. Celeste says, I don't know why though. I do love airbrush. Listen. Do airbrush. Ain't nothing wrong with you, but get some brushes anyway. You still need, I mean, you can't airbrush everything. Oh, Giovanna, thank you, honey. Thank you. I will take a hug. Thank you very much. Right back at you. Thank you, darling. Yes, man. Wait, listen, get your brush on. Get your brush on. I don't want to turn you into an addict. I don't want to be the pusher of your brush addiction, but I have a really strong one myself. I can't control it. I can't. It's a sickness. Girl, I got a lot. Oh, Cosette too. Oh, I got a lot of Cosette, which were my faves, but these Omnia brushes blow them away and way cheaper. Yes, I do love me some Cosette. I only have like 3. I have only 3. I purchased them with my money. Okay. I have only 3. I do like them though. I remember I was doing, I don't think I was doing increase your speed. No, of course not. I think I was doing my like editorial makeup class one year. And my students, when I teach, like sometimes I want to go, give me a brush, I'll show you something. And I just take the brush. And I took the brush from her hand and I did this. I said, ooh, what is this? What is this? And it was a Cosette brush and it was beautiful. So of course I ran out and brought some more Cosette brush. But yes, his brushes are beautiful. How do you balance work life and personal life? Well, Miss Shamika, I don't want to say it's not easy, but I have a boyfriend who gets it and he understands it and he doesn't bitch at me about it. So that's that's how you balance it. You have to find something. You've got to have somebody who kind of doesn't get upset over, I'm talking to you. He went and got dinner. I'm sitting here talking to you. My dinner's in the toaster oven. He didn't say, oh man, we need to eat together. It wasn't like that. So that's how I personally balance it. He just doesn't bitch at me about it. So that's kind of how I balance it. Like he's retired now, but he was a teacher. And so if I needed to go somewhere, because I am the idiot that still moves upstate and she doesn't drive, Shamika, she doesn't drive. And so when I have some place to go, we have to schedule it, you know what I mean? And he's there and he'll take me around, I'll say, I had to go to Pennsylvania to do this wedding last weekend and he took me. So that's what I'm talking about. It's like that kind of yin and yang, that kind of balance is because I'm not getting yelled at about you not here and why you gotta work and why I gotta get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and take you to the train. I don't get that. So that's how it's balanced. that's how it's balanced. I don't get yelled at over things like that. I get yelled at, listen, he ain't perfect. I get yelled at over other things. But then my schedule is not something that is upsetting to our relationship. So that's how we do it. Probably because I have 2 kids. See, that's what I'm saying, Shamika. I don't have children. If I had children, it would be a completely different world. Listen, Shamika, straight up. I don't even have a dog. Okay. I don't even have a dog. Now, I think if we had a dog, then I think he'd be mad at me because then he's the one stuck walking the dog. You know what I mean? Like little things like that. So I don't have a dog and I don't have children. And so that's, my world is completely different. If you have children, God bless you. God, I really mean that. I mean that with all my heart. I'm not trying to be facetious or any. I truly mean God bless you, because the scheduling and then, there are sacrifices that must be made. And, if you want your career to advance somewhat quickly, I'm not going to say fast, but there are certain things that, you might have to miss. And as a parent, I've seen my friends go through that. As a parent, you're like, do I take this job or do I go to my kids' play? And your kids' play should, is normally what wins out no matter what. And so I see the sacrifices that parents make for their careers and the sacrifices they make for their children. I see it. Now I'm amazed at it. And yeah, I couldn't imagine. I don't have children, nor dog, nor animal. So I don't have those. I don't have that. But I do see with lots of people with children, it's a lot to juggle. But they do make it. I have friends, a lot of my friends have kids, and they do figure it out. So it's not like you can't figure it out. And you say probably because I have 2 kids and 1 on the way. It takes a little more planning on my part. You have 2 kids and 1 on the way. Look at my eyes. I'm tired just thinking about that. Oh, bless you. Shamika, bless you, sweetheart. That's a lot to deal with. God bless you. I'm telling you, I'm even on the fence about a dog. Like, God bless you. Ooh, Lord, do you live in New York City or did you move upstate? Miss Marilyn, I moved upstate. I'm upstate now. I'm about 2 hours away from New York and I am loving it. I'm loving it. Why? Because it's just, I'm loving it. I'm loving being up here. It's quiet. We have deer. I love deer. We have stars. I get to see the stars. We have beautiful clouds. I get to take pictures of clouds now. This is my new favorite pastime. Cloud pictures. Like, what's happening? What is she doing? What is she doing? The boyfriend's like, what is she doing? What is she taking the picture of? Clouds. Okay, obsession is in full throttle here, okay? But yeah, it's nice. It's nice up here. I truly love it. I didn't think I was gonna like it at all. I really like it. I really do. It's nice. So yeah, I'm upstate. I have a garden spot. I don't know if you heard me before. I have a garden. I'm growing parsley. What am I growing? I'm growing Italian parsley, sage. What else am I growing? Italian parsley, sage. Oh, I'm growing, what the hell am I growing? Kale. Mint from the mojitos. I'm growing something else. Mint from the mojitos, kale, sage. Thyme. I bought too much thyme. Now the thyme is sprouting all over the place. I don't know what to do. But like, it's just like things shifted with me. Like, I'm old, so I'm not partying every weekend like I used to and all that stuff. I'm old. I'm up here. It's nice, quiet. I like it. Rent is cheaper, and it's probably easy to get an apartment than races in New York. Well, there are races everywhere, unfortunately. It is much nicer, and the rent is cheaper, and you get a lot more. You know, listen, when you move out of New York, you get a lot more of everything. We can get the hell out of New York City. You just get, everybody gets more. So yes, we have a beautiful spot. It's beautiful. It's big. I think that's how we were able to get through the whole COVID pandemic thing, because we were in this huge apartment, and so we weren't on top of each other, and it's large in here. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know about the races. Ronnie, the races everywhere. Okay, so I'm sure they up here too. I'm not even gonna try to blow smoke. I think there's races everywhere. She's laughing at me. Thank you so much for the blessings. And I mean that too. I really mean that. Kids are really a lot, but they drive me to do more in my career so that I can contribute more to their lives financially and time-wise. Oh, that's lovely. Yes, honey. I mean it. I'm not being facetious. I really do mean it. I'm like, God bless you. Because she ain't got no kids. Who am I to tell you? She ain't got no kids. Celeste says, I wanted to visit the USA when Canadians can travel again without all the hoopla, but things aren't what they used to be. Is it even worth going to New York City right now? Listen, straight up, truthful. I'm trying to get y'all not to come here. I'm trying to get y'all not, don't come to New York yet. Let us settle. Can New Yorkers settle before everybody convenes onto the city again? But I'm not in the city, to be honest. Yeah, I ain't in the city. But I just would like people to allow New Yorkers to readjust before all the tourists come back. That's just my thing. And I'm not even there. And I'm watching on the news, like, can we breathe? We just got outside. Can we breathe without all of y'all coming? That's my only thing. As a New Yorker, that's my biggest thing. Can we just breathe before you all come? Because there's so many people in the United States who still didn't get the vaccine. And so I'm just concerned, for me personally. Well, like I said, I'm not there no more. But for New Yorkers personally, I'm concerned because, you know, all of us here don't have the vaccine either. And then I just don't want it to reemerge here. I just don't want it. And I don't want to be cocooned in the house for another year. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, can we just all breathe just for a minute before everybody comes here? I'm on a board on Facebook. I think it's called I Love New York, I believe. And I do. I love my city. And there's so many people going, I'm coming there in a few weeks. And I'm like, oh, man, can y'all just let New Yorkers just breathe for 1 second before you come? We just need to breathe. Like I said, I don't even live here. I don't live in the city anymore, but I can just feel New Yorkers just needing that month just to be able to kind of go back out in the street. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason why I'm very straight up about that. I can see that Times Square starting to fill up again. And, you know, New Yorkers are already tired of the tourists. And You know, I'm just being straight up. I think New York needs a break for just a month. Can we get a month before all y'all come? Can we just 1 month? Just one. Just one. Sorry, that's what I have to say. It wasn't what you expected, I'm sure. Sorry, I'm just so protective over my little city. I'm so protective. Oh, Marilyn says the hoops they make you jump through to get a BS apartment. Yes, the BS apartment in New York City is crazy. I'm moving back east, but not in New York City, either upstate or another East Coast state. Yeah, I like upstate, but don't be fooled because upstate is getting a little pricey, quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, because you ain't close to nothing. It shouldn't be expensive up here, but it's because what's happening, Maryland, so you understand, is like when COVID hit, everybody started to come here. They started to flee New York and they came up here because they wanted space. So what does that mean? Well, the prices went up here. At one point it was affordable. And then all of a sudden I'm looking at prices going, where did that come from? So that's what I'm saying. If you're going to come and you want to move here, wait a year. And I'm sure the people who panicked and came up here will probably start to sell their property. I'm assuming, I could be wrong, but that's what happened. People ran from New York City and came up here. So that's the thing. I appreciate that, but I got my space. So what can I say? Hey, Miss Layton, how you doing, sweetheart? So Celeste is giving me a woo-woo. She goes, I'm still in lockdown, so it's going to be a minute. I'm not saying, yay, you're in lockdown. That's not, I was going to say, yay, but I didn't mean it like that. I hear you. I'm just saying, like, you know, for my poor little city, people need to breathe in here. You know, people need to go back to their normal kind of routines and enjoy their local restaurants and their things. And then we have no problem sharing. We have to share anyway. But man, if I was still in Brooklyn, I'd have been like, I don't want to see a tourist. I don't want to see a tourist for the next like 2 months. I don't want to see a tourist because everybody comes here. It's a lot to live in New York City. It's just a lot. And I wasn't too far from the Barclays Center. It's just a lot to constantly have tourists in your shite. It's just a lot. Oh, Celeste said, I just want to go somewhere besides the supermarket. Okay, well, then I want you to travel too. See, she says this. She said that happened in North Carolina. We had so many New Yorkers move down here. The prices blew up. Ain't that annoying? That is gentrification in a way. When you have idiots like us who pay a lot of money for rent up here. Then we get to another place, right, that the rent is not as high, okay? Or the pricing of homes are not that high. And we think that the bargain price of $300,000, oh, that sounds good to me because our prices are so high. But if you were just to do the research on the neighborhood, a regular house, let's say, might be $150, might be $175. But here comes the dumbass New Yorkers coming down to your space, and they're willing to spend what? Because it sounds like a bargain, right? But it's not. And what do? They move to your space, and then they jack up the prices. And then everything is just blown out of proportion again. That's what gentrification really is. That's what happens in New York. You get people who pay a lot of money for rent, come here, think it's a bargain, and then they jack up the prices, and it makes it very hard for natives, or you're from North Carolinians to live, because here come dumb New Yorkers coming down there thinking it's a bargain. So I get it. I feel you. I'm mad about that too. I'm mad for you. I'm sorry. I renewed my lease in Arizona, but this hot ass pits of hell state is getting expensive to live. And if it's going to be this way, then I might as well move back east. Wow, it must be really expensive there. She said, let me say it again. Marilyn. This hot ass pits of hell state It's getting expensive. I love that. It's hot ass pits of hell. I love that. That made my day. Hot ass pits of hell. I hear you. Shamika says it's so annoying too because I'm a Brooklyn girl and we moved down here for a different environment, right? That's what I'm saying. Like I moved up here to get away from them people, right? I moved up here to have some peace ass mind. Let me tell you something. I told you I have a garden space. Like, so there's a lot of spaces in the garden, right? So my next door neighbor in my garden, he's from Brooklyn. My other next door neighbor in my garden, she's from Brooklyn. There are so many people who live up here. We're all like literally like, where did you come from? Queens, Brooklyn. Like we're all up here now. It's crazy. So I understand. Oh, I get it. Oh no, I get it. Celeste says, this is happening in my city too, Toronto and the surrounding areas. First of all, Toronto, number one. I won't be a tourist anytime soon, but I love yours. I love Toronto, but I do agree. Toronto, first of all, is not cheap. That I do know. And so if you have people doing the same thing that dumbasses do here, I'm sorry, because the whole point of rent is it shouldn't be like pay food. It shouldn't be like Whole Foods where you're paying your whole paycheck to live in an apartment. And then Toronto is very similar to me in New York in terms of these apartments that these new apartments that you guys have are like this big. Look at me. And they're charging so much money. So you might as well live in New York, that craziness. And so, yeah, I mean, it's an issue. It's a big issue. I just wish people would do their homework before they shell out all this money, because I don't think people understand that when you do that, when you pay the new rents in the new neighborhood, how you make everything shoot up for everybody else. You know, that's the only thing. I just kind of wish people were just more aware of the damage that those things do to our whole neighborhood. It doesn't matter if it's a black neighborhood or white neighborhood. It doesn't really matter. It matters to the neighborhood. And when you move there thinking, oh, $3,000 is a bargain, but the rents really were like $1,500, then you're doing a disservice to that neighborhood, because sooner or later you're going to push people out of that neighborhood. You know, that's the part that makes me sick. Taisha, hi everyone. I'm in Brooklyn. Oh, you're close to the Barclays Center. We are packed here. I would wait until around September to come to New York City. LOL. Where you be? I don't want you to tell me where you are, because I was like, where you been? I was in Clinton Hill. Are you Clinton Hill, Fort Greene? Is that where you are? I'm dying to know where you are, because you said you're close to the Barclays Center. I was Clinton Hill. I was like 25-minute walk away from the Barclays Center. So if you are closer, I'm sorry. I would, if I was living there, I'd have a fit. Oh, Crown Heights. So you're the other side. Okay. You're like across Atlantic Avenue. I know who you are. Okay. Yeah. I like Crown Heights. I like that over there. Apartments are bigger. I like it over there. But that doesn't mean you people should flock to Crown Heights. But I like Crown Heights. It's nice. Yeah, I know I sound like a horrible New Yorker when I say to tourists, don't come here. But it's just, I don't know. It's just like everybody down there in New York just finally had a chance to kind of come outside. We finally just got a chance to come out of the house. And then here comes everybody. I just kind of would like New Yorkers just to get a breath of fresh air before everybody come. But that's just my personal thing. Celeste says micro condos are on the rise here, but it's not like we have the same opportunities that are available in New York City. But we have the sky high rents, and purchasing a home now seems so unreachable. That just breaks my heart to hear that, because home ownership is supposed to be that American, Canadian, Yugoslavian dream, you know, and then when everything goes to shit like that, then how can you afford to get your own home, you know? So I feel for you. I feel, you know, micro apartments are BS. Let me tell you something. Listen, I know we're supposed to be talking about makeup. I don't care. Listen, in New York City, it all started with Bloomberg, our mayor Bloomberg. Let me tell you about Bloomberg, okay? Bloomberg is a gazillionaire. He's a billionaire, a billionaire. I don't know how many homes he owns, okay? But I'm going to estimate 10. That's what I'm going to estimate. And I'm going to estimate that he, like when he lived in New York, he lived in a brownstone. Brownstones in New York for a rich person like that, they're normally, I don't know, 5,000 square feet of space, several floors, that kind of thing, right? Do you know that that biatch, okay, had the audacity to tell New Yorkers that micro apartments was the way to go? You don't need any more than 250 square feet of space to live here, and then 250 square feet of space for like $2,000 to live in the city. This is a billionaire who lives in a 5,000 square foot brownstone, and that's just one, right? One place that he owns. Had the audacity to tell New Yorkers that they didn't need any more than 250 square feet of space. And micro apartments suddenly cropped up all over the place. I wish New Yorkers would listen and pay attention to who's talking to them, because that biatch need to get his ass kicked out of here. Because to give him a third term, he just went buck wild crazy in the city and ruined the whole thing. I'm telling you, those micro apartments are BS. And then people pay a fortune for them. They're BS, complete BS. Please don't get me started. I'm going to start to curse like a crazy person. Micro condos, my ass. Cali peeps are messing up. Wait, this curse is in my way. Messing up the state. Also, many investment real estate companies are buying up houses unseen and rental properties with abandoned due to Arizona having no rules. I believe you. Maryland, I believe you. And I'm sorry. I just think it's just, I think it's a hot ass mess. Leighton says, don't forget the apartments you had to make. Oh, Leighton, see, Leighton, I think when you and I speak on this thing, I think you're trying to make me mad. That's what I think. Leighton says, don't forget the apartments you had to make a certain amount of income to enter from the front door. So if you guys don't understand New York, here's the rule of New York, the technical rule when you want to rent some bullshit up in here, okay? You have to make 40, I don't have a pen big enough, 40 times X the rent. So if your rent was 1,000, you had to make 40,000. You understand? If your rent is 2,000, you have to make 80,000. That's how they do it. Now, just recently, they just did this thing here where normally when you move, right? So I'm digressing. I'm coming back with my answer. But normally when you used to move in New York City, it would be first, last, and security. So that's 4. So if your rent here in New York City, by the way, on average, I'm saying average, there's some that pay more and there's some that pay less. For an average 1-bedroom apartment, it's $2,500. 25. That's $7,500 you just have to have out your ass to move, right? Then you didn't even move yet. So you don't shelled out all this money. Then before they did this new rule, if you went through a broker, sometimes you have to give them either 1 month's rent, or I forgot how they work it, 1 month's rent or a portion of the year's rent. So now we're talking $10,000 just to move. You haven't even moved yet. So now it just costs you $10,000 to move, okay? Then you got to rent a movers. Well, movers in New York, depending on where you're moving to, if you're moving from one big borough to another big borough, that's about, if you want a real good mover, that's about $2,000. So now I just gave away $10,000 just to get my apartment. Now I'm going to spend another $2,000. That's $12,000. So when Judge Judy says to people on her TV show, what's the problem? Just move. My brain explodes. It's $12,000 in New York City to try to move. It is not normal here. And that's why I get so heated over rents and stuff. It's just not normal. And so I feel you. If you guys are feeling anything that we're feeling here, I'm sorry. It's BS. It's like complete. Oh, I just moved my camera. It's like complete B. Look, I'm kicking my camera. I'm getting so mad. It's complete BS. Celeste, you're right. Celeste said it completely. They don't care about the people. They don't care about us. They don't care about us. They don't. These rents are ridiculous. They don't care about us. They only care about themselves. They only care about the money. What do they care about? But now, see, in New York, though, if you come here, you want to get something, you better come here today. Because there's so many empty apartments. This is the only time I think that you'll be able to get a bargain price on an apartment. But if you want one, you better come now. If you want one, Maryland, where's Maryland? Maryland, if you want an apartment, you better come now. Like, so even if you're going to be in Arizona, you better come now, because if you wait 6 months, the apartment's going to go back up. Landlords are like, please come live here, please come. But they're going to get greedy again, and then they're going to raise those rates. So that's, listen. Meryl says only transplants will pay crazy amounts to live in 100 square feet. Yes. Real New Yorkers would never. Well, that's so true. That's why I'm screaming. That's why when people say to me, DeShawn, I'm moving here, and then they think that these little boxy ass apartments is normal. Like, people think when they come to New York that you're supposed to live in something this big, and that's not true. That's just not true. Even projects, the project apartments are big. So why would you think that living in a box or living in something that's 200 square feet of space and giving somebody $2,000 is the way we live here? That is just not the way we live here, you know? And in all different boroughs, we have all different, you know, types of housing and stuff. Don't, like, if you want to come here, but do it smart and take your time to find a place. Take your time to find a place, and stop thinking that Manhattan is the end all be all to everything. You can live in Queens, you can live in Brooklyn, you can live in Staten Island. I lived in every borough except for Manhattan. I lived in Staten Island. I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Queens. I lived in the Bronx. I lived in every borough. And I'm telling you, you can get really cute little things in every borough for somewhat of a decent amount of money. You can get something here. Celeste says, we have a lot of Asians and even Russians buying condos sight unseen, never even visited Canada, just to have an investment, and the unit is empty. Yep, that's what they do here too. Marilyn, let me read it like this. I'm going to read it like Mommy Dearest. I don't want to live in New York City ever again. Never. It's like, no more wire hangers ever. That's the way it goes. That's how I read that, Marilyn, just like that. I can't imagine living in New York City. I just want to visit. Then Celeste, please come to New York City. Please come to New York City. You will love it here. You will love it. Maryland says sight unseen homes and apartments being sold are money laundering tactics, which people don't want to talk about. That's very true too. We have that. We definitely have that here. Of course we have that here. We're in New York. We have every jacked up thing here. Please. It's New York. How else are you going to hide your money? Huh? Okay. I ain't got money like that to hide. Because maybe then I would be hiding my money like that too. Ah, she's so illegal. But really, I mean, Taisha says this is so true. What they are doing now is making most of the new buildings, I know, shared living. The apartments are 3 bedrooms, and you can rent a room. Taisha said it. She said you can rent a room for $1,200. A room. I like to call them a room because the room is this ass big. Yes, you can. I don't like shared living. I don't believe in that. I don't even understand it. Like, it's one thing if like you and your girl, you know, your best friend want to share an apartment. I understand that, but strangers living together. I mean, the last time I saw that was on a TV show with Jack and Janet and Chrissy Snow. It just don't work for me. Marilyn says, who the hell would pay $1,200 to rent a room? people. I'm telling you, that's the problem. That was one of the problems that we were having here in New York, was that people would like get these apartments and then they break them down, and like, because the rents were so high. So if you got a 3-bedroom, think of a 3-bedroom here, let's say in Manhattan, because everybody's so obsessed with Manhattan. I don't even get it. But I know they do it in Brooklyn. Brooklyn is very popular now. Good Lord Jesus. They do it in Brooklyn. They do it in certain parts of Queens where it's a little closer to the city. And they'll get a 3-bedroom apartment and they literally will say, oh, this 3-bedroom is like $5,000 a month. And then you get roommates to come live with you. Child, please. Taisha says, man, they are paying for it. It's crazy. I think it's crazy too. I don't understand it. That is not a New York mentality thing to do. We don't do that. As New Yorkers, we don't do that shit. We don't do that. It's transplants that come here and think it's a bargain. See, that's the problem with people. I keep screaming. I go on real estate YouTube pages and I'm screaming, please check before you think this is and I'm on there, and the guy, his name is Cash, and I really like, he's really sweet, but I'm on there after his video saying, please check the neighborhood before you think this is a bargain. This is not a bargain. What he just showed you is a suck-ass apartment. This is not the way it is. Like, I try so hard to get them to hear me because they keep coming here and they keep paying these types of prices, and it's like, you are ruining my city with this. They do it all the time. Yes, it's more so people who are moving here for the first time that are buying these apartments. Exactly, like buying and or renting, and they're coming here thinking that, oh, you mean all I have to do is give you $1,200 and I could live in this 7 by 10 room, or, you know, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? And then it's not even like the main living room is worth a damn. It's like something small. You can only put one little couch in there. And like, people got to wake up when they come here. You got to wake up because they're ripping you off big time. You got to be careful with that. Leighton says a lot of performing artists do shared space living. Yeah, but you normally know them. And what I mean by and I'm saying normally, I'm not saying all people, but most of the time, like when you share space, let's say if you're a dancer, you're around other dancers, you're probably in a class, you know, dancers and stuff, actors, they all take classes. And so then you'll get to, you at least would kind of get to know people. And so you say, yo, look, my roommate just moved out. Do you want to move in with me? That's kind of how, for me personally, I feel like it works. Whereas here in New York, what they're trying to do is anybody, like you would put like a thing in Craigslist and say, you know, I have a room to rent kind of thing. Come on. It's different. It used to be more kind of who you knew connection, as opposed to just like some random shit in Craigslist. So again, you got to be careful. And then what happens if it's a 3-bedroom apartment? That means that 3 different individuals are living in that apartment. You don't know who these people are. Hey, Sean, it's a seller's market. I keep kicking my camera. I'm getting mad. I'm kicking the camera. It's a seller's market. Right now it is, yeah. If someone wants to move here, they need to come now because the rent is already starting to go back up. Yeah. So if you want to move here, you better haul your ass. As my volleyball coach would say, you better shag your ass, DeShawn. Shag your ass. Like, hurry up. Because the greedy ass landlords, greedy. New York is full of greed. Them greedy ass landlords, they're going to jack that rent up real fast. They're going to jack it up. So if you want to come and then try to haggle the price down as best as you can. You know, if they present you with a price, you say, take $200 off, do whatever you can. Say 50. I don't care what you do. Just to haggle to see if you can get that price to come down. And be aware of the deals that they have. So what do I mean by that? New York has this, I don't know what other people do. I'm going to talk about New York. New York has this very famous thing where they'll say something like, it's normally $2,000 a month, but we're giving you 3 months free or something like that, right? There's some bullshit they'll give you, right? But the thing that they don't tell you is that when your year is up, or your lease, if you sign a 2-year or a year, your rent goes back to market value. So they're getting you in the door, but market value for that apartment might be $3,500. So I just told you, you spent $12,000 to move into that apartment, and you think you got a bargain because it's now $2,000 or something. But in actuality, it is worth 35 technically. If in the book of apartments, in the blue book of apartments, it might be worth $3,500. So your rent will go up to $3,500. It won't stay $2,000. So I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So they're doing these little trickery things to get you in the door because they need somebody to pay the rent. But what renters don't understand is that once your lease is up, that rent goes like this. Ching! It doesn't go up incrementally. It goes to market value. So you have to be careful. You don't want to spend $12,000 to move somewhere for 1 year, and then the next year have to spend yet another $12,000 to move. Okay, so you got to be careful of that. Sean Christensen says they should turn parking lots into New York City into RV rental spots so people could live there for cheap. I agree. But we don't even have no parking lots here, okay? New York City is now a place for immigrants, transplants, and rich people. Native New Yorkers should move to cheaper states or upstate New York. A lot of people left. They'll tell you that they have conversations. They have discussions on the news about how we're leaving, how we are leaving this. Listen, I mean, I moved upstate. I'm not in the city anymore. I moved upstate, and I'm staying my ass up here too. So there's a lot of people. I'm telling you, I think most of my complex is technical transplants from the city to here. We were just talking to I told you, my garden neighbor, and we were talking. He was like, "Yeah, I ain't going back." He's like, "Yeah, I'm not going back." Everybody does not want to go back down there. Don't want to go back down there. So, it tells you something. It tells you something that, and I hate to sound like this because I'm a snob. I'm a snob. It doesn't matter. But I'm a real New Yorker. I'm born and raised here. I'm a real New Yorker. I ain't no transplant. I'm a real New Yorker. And real New Yorkers, if a real New Yorker does not want to go into New York City, that tells you something. That tells you something. I don't want to go. Layton says they jack up the prices like cable people. Yes, because my cable appears. Sean says, when I lived there and had to work and commute in Manhattan, the cost was $650 alone for transportation cost a month. I believe that. I still believe that. I absolutely believe that. What did you have, a car? So get ready for that too. And then there's, fed, state, and borough income taxes. Yep. Tell them the truth, Sean. Tell them the truth, Sean. You preach about how much it costs to live here. Preach it. Many New Yorkers moved to New Jersey. I can't do it. I know it's true. I know many New Yorkers do move to New Jersey, but I can't. I'm a New Yorker. I can't do it. I can't. I just won't. I won't do it. Celeste, I'm born and raised in Toronto, and I want to leave. Well, that's how I felt about New York. I wanted to leave too. Like when I have to go down there for work, which I haven't had to do in a year, but when I had to, coming from here, going down there, I would get anxiety because I was like, ooh, there's a lot of people. I would get anxiety and I wouldn't want to be there. I just don't. I love my city. I still love my city. I'm a New Yorker. But to live in, I don't want to live there anymore. See, look at Tayu. She's like, she ain't even coming up here. Tayu's like, I'm out. So I'm thinking about moving to Maryland. I'm just worried about building a clientele there when I already have clientele here. Well, you know what? I bet you, this just came off the top of my head, Miss Taisha. And I know you ain't moving no time soon, but I I bet you that some of your clientele, not all, I bet you some of your clientele has cousins, some aunties, and stuff that live in like Maryland area. And this goes really for anybody. Y'all should start talking to your clients and saying, well, do you know anybody in Maryland? Do you have any friends in Maryland? If you want to live, because you might be able to grab some new clients that way through your old clients, who will be the ones to give you an amazing reference. But the New York clients that you have who could tell their cousins that, yo, she hooked me up, she hooks me up. You see what I'm saying? So you might want to, if it's a thought process, you might want to sit down and talk to your clients and find out, do you have family members in the area? It doesn't have to be exactly where you want to be, but in the area. Do you have somebody in Maryland? Do you have somebody in Virginia? And then start banking on that. Okay. Sean, 150K a year salary there in New York City. He's got 150K a year salary there in New York City. Feels like 55 a year take home. If you really want to live there and have true fun, you need at least 250K or more to do that regularly. Now, I wouldn't say that. I don't think you need that. But I do understand what you're saying. You do feel like your paycheck does not go as far. I just think it depends on the type of person you are. One, are you a partier? And also, no offense to you, but you're a dude. And guys, like, y'all pay for a lot of stuff here. I don't know. I just feel like for guys, sometimes I do feel like for guys, it's a little bit more expensive. I do. The parties, the this and that. I mean, I've lived in some pretty decent places where I didn't feel broke. I didn't feel broke. I have to be honest. I didn't feel broke, like, oh, I'm shelling out every single bit of money I make on my rent, or on to live. I didn't feel that way. Even before here, even before I moved to Brooklyn, I never felt like I was going broke per se, but I'm cheap, Sean. I don't know if you're new to this channel, but I'm very cheap. So instead of going out to drink, I would just go out and buy my booze and drink in my house. Because drinking in New York City is $20 a glass. She's cheap. I'm not doing it. I'm not paying $20 a glass. So I think it depends on your lifestyle, I think, to live here. Like, I'm all for $1 pizza. I'm all for great papaya when need. And I also like to cook. So that cuts down on my living expenses as well. So it depends on how you live. But Sean, you might be banging. I don't know. You might be like, you just might be Mac Daddy in it in the whole neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you run. You know what I'm saying, Sean? Yeah, see, this is the kind of person you are, Sean. You said he's trying to give me ideas. He was like, nah, man, I'm talking in Manhattan, living there, eating, going to Broadway for shows, seeing a sports game. Yes, that's expensive because you're not a cheap ass like me. You needed to go to the TKS booth and get your $25 ticket for your Broadway play. You need to start making friends with people who work in them sports arenas so you don't have to pay. You see, you're not a cheap ass, Sean. You got to get with me. I'm a cheap ass. I don't like to pay full price. You got to start knowing people. You don't have to pay for certain things. Does that mean I go to a lot of sports events? No, not really. But most of the sports events I go to, I don't have to pay. She's a cheap ass. Got to get cheap. Then you can live. You can live well. Be a cheap ass like me, Sean. Be a cheap ass. Yeah, Celeste, because you're in Toronto. Toronto is very New York to me. I find I haven't been there so long, but what I watch. You know what, Celeste? Can I tell you? I watch a lot of Canadian television. I love City Line. I love your ET, Canada. I watch Mr. convenience store, but now Mr. Kim convenience, but now I know it's going and it broke my heart. So I watch a lot of like Canadian stuff. I watch your like House and Home Canadian, anything Canadian. I don't know why I'm watching so much. I see what it is. I see the prices. I see a lot of things in Canada. It's very expensive. It feels very New York to me. Sean says, cheap ass. I guess I met a lot of unprepared people that would move to New York City and get shocked when all the little things added up, even car insurance and stuff. See, moving here with a car don't make no damn sense. Like, I didn't have a car. The one thing I'll tell you I spent my money on, I'll tell you what I spend my money on. I spend my money on a really good restaurant. I like to eat. So I would say I would budget for really good restaurants, right? So that's one thing. I don't mind paying for food, really good food and really good service. I don't have a problem with that. But I didn't do it often, but I did it enough. And the other thing I made sure that I budgeted for were car services. I haven't truly, I have been in the subway in the last 5 or 6 years. Every now and then those like short trips, like, okay, let me go down, and because I know it's faster if I go into the subway than to take a car service. But for the most part, for about 98% of my life in the last, I don't know, 6, 7 years, car services. And I have a cutoff in terms of, okay, you don't spend a lot of money this month on car services, Sean. You better, calm down with the car services. But I had a budget for car services. And it was way cheaper than anybody spent on cars here. So again, when you have a car and you have insurance and you have all, it's very expensive in New York. That's why I didn't want a car when I lived in Manhattan. I didn't live in Manhattan, excuse me. When I lived in New York, because cost-wise, it didn't make sense to me. Cost-wise, gas, insurance, tolls, all of that, it's just costly to me. So I didn't want to spend that money. Yeah, I hear you. But that car would kill you. He says, see, not all cheap. I'm telling you, she's cheap ass. She's cheap ass. But see, like, I'll spend my money like on good food. So I would like, I don't like Whole Foods because Whole Foods is whole paycheck. So I would like organic. So I would buy organic. So I like good food. Like, I like good cuts of salmon. I like a good cut of this. I like real bacon that's this thick. I like good food. So that's what I would spend my money on. My food bill is ridiculous, but I try to cook. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes that shit go bad. But most of the time I do like to cook foods and cook. I like to cook. So I save a lot of money. Sometimes I'll decide, like, when I'm cooking in the house and I make something kind of gourmet for myself, I decide, how much would I have paid for that in a store, not a store, in a restaurant? And then I would say, oh, that probably would have cost me around $35, $40 for this plate that I just made. And it just cost me $4 or $5. So it's like little things like that I always add up in my head because I eat out so much. But I feel you. She's cheap ass. Like, don't listen. If I feel like I can make it, I'll make it in my house. Even with the poo-poo, chanterelle, mushroom, I will do whatever I can to make that meal cost way less, like a tenth of a fraction sometimes. But sometimes I miss a waiter and I like to be served. That's it. Sean, you're killing me. Sean said, one final opinion. Never moved to Staten Island. I lived on Staten Island. I loved it, and I still miss my apartment, Sean. It's 1,000 square feet to myself. It had 11 beautiful windows. It had a huge kitchen. My bathroom, I never had a bathroom so big in my life. The thing was huge. I could put furniture in it. I love my apartment. Even though, yes, it was a long time ago, I will admit, but my commute was so quick. I walked to the ferry. My ferry walk was like 20 minutes in the morning. If I got up early enough, we had a diner. I would go get some breakfast and then I walked to the ferry. I happen to love Staten Island, but that was a very long time ago. But I lived on Staten Island too. I lived Staten Island, the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens. I love it. Let me see, Celeste Moore. I would feel weird giving up my car, but a lot of downtowns don't drive. I can't do it though. I shop at Whole Foods, but I'm vegan and love to cook. Well, then you can afford your car. because you're saving money. He said, Sean said, I had to take a bus to a boat. he said I had to take a bus to a boat to a train to work. I moved from Staten Island ASAP. Listen, either I could walk to the ferry, or every now and when I was lazy or late, I would hop on the bus. So I was a bus and then the ferry. So I liked it. I didn't have to do all that. And then also I worked downtown Wall Street. So again, for me, it was very convenient. But I don't think as a makeup artist would I want to. No, I think it wouldn't be so bad as a makeup artist either, because most of the things I had to do on the West Side. So actually, it would probably be good for me to be in Staten Island, because I'd at least be on the West Side. He said I had to take a bus to the boat. That was funny. Oh, Sean, you were no, I can't do that. I can't. No, Sean's telling me, see, I live by the mall. Why did you move out by the mall? Let me tell you something, Sean. I lived there. I only lived there for like a year. And then I moved back to Brooklyn. And I moved back to Brooklyn because I was stupid, not because I hated my space. I love my space. I really, to this day, I love my space. But I knew I would be by the ferry, close enough to the ferry. In other words, like 20-minute walk away from the ferry. So I knew I was close enough to just hop on the ferry, and I didn't have to. Oh, child, you were too far in. That's why you don't like Staten Island. Your ass was 30 minutes into. Oh no, I wouldn't like it either. If I had to do all the things that you had to do, hell, effing no, I wouldn't be in. I wouldn't be in Staten Island. You were close to the Jersey. Hell no. Nah, son. I wouldn't be doing that. No, Sean. No. I could see why you don't like it. I wouldn't like it either. Honestly, I wouldn't like it. The only thing that I liked about Staten Island and the ferry is that, and today it still is. So anybody who wants to live in Staten Island, listen up. When you get off the ferry, the buses are literally waiting for you. So it's not like you're standing there waiting. Oh, when's the bus coming? The bus is there. That's why I really liked it. So it ran like clockwork. That's why I liked it. But you went too far, Sean. Nah, I'm not living out there. Anytime I had to do anything, Sean, I would just walk out my house, walk to the ferry, and go to the city, and then come right back. I would never go. I never even, listen, I didn't even see the mall I'm not going over there. The mall was so out of my way. Now, you was a trooper, because that wasn't going to happen. It was a bigger house near the retired. He said it was a bigger house near the retired mobster area. Listen, I know where you were. I know. As soon as you said you were by the mall, I know where you were. I would never, in 5 years. First of all, I'm Black, so I would never. Okay. But yeah, I would never. That's too far for me. I could see why you don't like it. So you were off Bay Street. You planned it well. Yeah, I was around there. Yeah, I was around Bay Street. And I could also walk to the supermarket, even though it was like a 10-minute walk away from the house. There was a nice supermarket. Yeah, and the food was amazing. Because some Italians know how to make some deep. I got my pastrami for you. They had my prosciutto. They had everything for me. That food was out of this world. I tell you, it's like Little Italy living in Staten Island. That food was amazing. It was delicious. So yeah, Sean, I was around like that Bay Street area. I hate taking buses. Again, it's Staten Island. It's a different feeling. It's different. It's like clockwork. It's not what you think it is. It's different from any. I grew up in Queens. I take buses all the time. I hate buses. But when I moved to Staten Island, it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that. It's a different kind of I don't know, it's just different. It just felt different to be on a bus. And also I wasn't on the bus for long. I was on a bus. Remember, now if I'm taking the bus, I think I was like second or third stop in, go up the hill. So it wasn't that long for me to be on the bus. So I was on the bus for what, 7 minutes, 6 minutes. So again, that's why it didn't bother me. You hop on, hop off. It was really cool. Layton says, I live in Newark, New Jersey. Sometimes clients in New York City will say, can't you find work in New Jersey? That's true, but it's not, because New Jersey is so close to New York, so much happens here in New York, that the New Jersey part, yeah, people are expecting you to come to work here in New York. I'm not saying New Jersey doesn't have like, places for, makeup. Of course they do. But I do find that most of the work generates in New York and then finds its way to New Jersey. That's all. Sean is like, and if you brought the wrong size or style shoe, just return it in New Jersey. You paid a $40 in toll round trip. See, that's what I'm saying, Sean. You had a car. I never had a car. Never had a car. And I had a car when I was much, much younger, but that's a long story. But you had the car situation. I didn't have to pay those bills. I didn't have to pay those. I was bus ferry girl. And then when I got to Manhattan, I was a cab person. You just had that huge expense, and those tolls would kick your ass. You had a huge expense. I just didn't have that. Thank God for that. Oh, you moved to Secaucus. Oh, you're in Secaucus. Oh, New Jersey, because I worked in Times Square that I loved. Yeah, I used to have to work in Secaucus too. Yeah, I can't remember. I used to do corporate videos out in Secaucus. Yeah, so I had to take the New Jersey Transit, and I had to go to Secaucus. I know you're talking about Secaucus, Times Square 14. Yep. I used to have to go to from Brooklyn to Secaucus. Yeah, I know you are. I don't know where you are, but I know Secaucus. You gotta say Secaucus. Aw. I like Marilyn. Marilyn's laughing at you, Sean. He's like, ha. Well, this is not about makeup, but this is about New York City. Yes. Oh, you say Secaucus. I see how you say Secaucus. Okay, Secaucus. Okay. Maybe it's the Brooklyn in me that says Secaucus. Yeah. I have an accent that's like Brooklyn meets Long Island. Yeah. Secaucus. Y'all are killing me tonight. Oh my God. That's why I love my Sunday crew. I was like, I'm not missing my Sunday crew. I'm not missing you guys. I missed you last time because I was coming back from the wedding. I didn't want to miss you tonight. I know I was late, but I was like, I don't care how late my class ends. I'm coming on here and talking to you people. And I don't care if we're not talking about makeup. I'm having a very good time talking to you guys. You guys are tickling the hell out of me tonight. Yes. Dorney, coffee, Secaucus. Oh my God, we're all stupid tonight, huh? It's like, Lord help me. But listen, I wasn't expecting to be on here this long. I think I answered 2 makeup questions. Oh my God. Sean, welcome. I don't remember seeing your name before, but thank you for being here, my darling. Do you think, okay, let me answer this last question. Do you think the industry will change now after COVID? Like maybe opportunities branching outside of New York? Yes. Yep. I do. Thanks. It was fun. Thank you, Sean. It was fun. Thank you. Enjoy Secaucus. Yeah, I do. Like the Hudson Valley up here, they have a whole industry up here. So it's another reason why I'm gonna try to get my ass up in this industry up here, so I don't have to go back down to Manhattan to work in like film and television stuff like that. I'm trying to make my way up here, but I'm gonna be like Sean now, and I'm gonna have to get a car because I can't rely. Like, listen, like sporadically going. Shamika had asked me earlier about like, how do you balance work life? And, it's one thing when I ask the boyfriend every now and then, can you drive me somewhere? But it's another thing, like if I have to really work up here, he can't be driving me to set all the time. I'm gonna have to get my ass up there. And there's no transportation up here. There's nothing except for like Uber and stuff like that. And I'm gonna tell you something, Uber up here is expensive. I'm telling you, a 15-minute ride can be like $30. It's expensive up here. It is not cheap. So I'm going to have to get myself a car. I'm gonna have to get a car. So if I'm gonna pursue working in the industry up here, I'm gonna have to drive. I have no choice but to drive. Bye. Have a great one, sweetheart. Thank you so much, Sean. You were fun. Thank you, sweetheart. So yeah. So yes, I do think so. I think more and more of my friends are working. They're back to work. And on top of it, I hate to say it this way, but many makeup artists quit. It's just the truth. Many makeup artists quit. So there's openings now. There are openings. So, there you go. There you go. So, that's the part that breaks my heart is that people quit. I understand why you quit. I totally understand why you quit. But I would, you just sit back and say, hold on, hold on. But so many just, they couldn't. And I understand that. You can only hold on for so long, and you can't hold on forever. You can't hold on and, until you're blue. Like, there was no real end in sight for us, right? So, we got to do what we got to do. Celeste Moore, thank you. So people, it's been an hour and a half. Oh, she's so stupid. It's an hour and a half. I really didn't expect to be on here this long. But so let me make sure next Sunday, really, let me make sure I have nothing to do next Sunday. Let's make sure. I'm going to check my thing with you people sitting right here because let me see. Let me go to the calendar. Let's go to the calendar. All right. Let's see. So next Sunday. No, is that right? Hold up. No, it's tonight. Yeah. Next Sunday, she will be on time. It'll be 7 o'clock. So I'll be here on time. Oh, my ears itching. I'll be here on time at 7. So next Sunday at 7, I'll be sitting my ass right here. I will be on time. I have nothing planned. So that's it. I just wanted people had to reevaluate in some aging. Yeah, of course, Celeste. Yes, of course they did. Oh, then ask away, my darling. Ask away, Miss Celeste. Yeah, people did have to reevaluate. I totally understand it. I just, my heart just says, oh, hold on. But I totally understand why they had to do it. People, you got to do what you got to do, period. End of conversation. Period. And honestly, this is a good time. Listen, people, this is a good time to get yourself a job, like a job, like a part-time job if you need one, because especially here in New York, so many people have left that people are trying to fill these like waiter positions and all kinds of positions. Like fitness clubs need people. Excuse me, all across the board, the people need people. Oh, I'm belching like a pig. People need people to work these jobs. This is a good time to pick yourself up a part-time job to even help get you over the hump until things really pick back up. This is a very good time to get a part-time job. Even if I drove, I'd probably be working at Planet Fitness right now. I think it's worth it. I think this is the perfect time to get yourself some additional income. Perfect. Especially if you're in New York. It's a very good time to get it. I'm just waiting for Celeste Moore to ask me a question. She said, I have a question before you go. Now, here we go. Here we go. Is there industry work for hairstylists that want to do color and chemicals, but in film or fashion, not like in a salon? Now I keep kicking my camera too. I'm sorry. I got to percolate that question. I want to say yes, but since that's not my end to the hair coloring and stuff, yes, there's always people who need to color hair and stuff like that. That is a good question. You know why? The reason why I'm stoked on that is because when I do like TV, right? And we're talking TV guest spotting, not so much like main person. They come in already done. When I did fashion, if we needed color, we'd stick a wig on somebody's head. We never really colored. Have I ever been on a set where we had to color someone's hair? No. If it's see the thing about fashion, it's all trickery. It's all fake. So, pieces as well, all those things. That's a good question. I personally, I don't feel like I've ever run across that issue with hair coloring, unless specifically it was, we're doing an editorial. See, like, let me do this. Okay, let me turn this up. I know you can't really see it. Can I turn this up anymore? Let me see. So do you see that? This right here was a hair story that I had done for a magazine. Actually, it was a test. I'm not even gonna lie. It was a test. This right here was a test. And then they liked it so much, they turned it into a hair story. But he did that with wigs and stuff. But my point is like sometimes when you want to, if you want to branch out, right, and want to come into the business, you could offer your services as a colorist type person. So you might want to reach out to maybe a makeup artist and photographers and offer your services. Like if you ever do a hair story and you need color, I would love to be part of your team, kind of thing. Same thing. I just want you to understand that film and television is different from fashion. Fashion is different. It's two different worlds. So it might be easy for you to ink into fashion when you want to do something like funky and cool, as opposed to film and television, because that's really all unioned and it's different. Now, what you might want to try to do is eke into web series and try to parlay a career in web series. Doesn't pay as well as union work, but you do work. And what will happen is it'll allow you to create a reel of your work, and then you might be able to get in that way. I hope what I just said to you made sense. But it's just two different worlds, right? It's just two different worlds that you're going to have to showcase your work in two different ways. Film and television's into motion. Motion is your video, your reel. What are they looking at? How does the hair move? Da, 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 da. And fashion is different. Fashion is your book and print work and how well is the hair lay, blah, 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 all that stuff too. So you have to kind of picky your color. You have to kind of pick what it is you're trying to kind of go after, because I think trying to go after both is just going to be exhausting. So have I seen it? Technically, no, I've never seen it. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But I don't see why you can't do it. I don't see why. If that's your passion, I don't see why you couldn't present yourself as the colorist to film and television, or the colorist to whatever. And also, you might want to start doing storyboards of such on looks that you might want to do, and present that to photographers and say, I have this idea for a shoot that might get it. And you need to start knowing editorial magazines that focus on hair. There are a lot of high-end editorial fashion magazines that focus on hair. And you need to start to parlay your way into those types of magazines. When I was coming up, there was a beautiful magazine. I don't even know if it still exists. I'd have to look it up, called Highlights. And if I pulled it out, like this would be in Highlights, it was the hair work in that was just, it was sickening. And so that's what I'm trying to get. See, I'm trying to get you to go like that. So I want you to start looking at that. And when you start doing your books and stuff, your book or your portfolio or your website or your whatever, you start to find real looking models to, not your sister. If she doesn't look like a model, don't pick her. You would need to start to find real models to model your work, and things like that. So can you do it? Is there a category for it exactly that I've noticed? No. Doesn't mean you can't create a category for it. I think you can do what the hell you want to do. So that's how I look at it. I think you can parlay your way in there. You will be doing mundane, regular hair too. But I do think that people would really love a good colorist and a good cutter. I really do. Learn how to cut on wigs. Learn how to color and cut on wigs. It's a big deal here. So Taisha says, maybe trying to work with brands that sell hair dyes. They should need hairstyles for their personal shoots and videos. Very, very good. I like that idea too. I think that's a great idea too. Yeah, why not? I'll take it. Why not? Try that. And again, showcase your work. Like showcase, you know how I tell you guys all the time that, you know, you don't need a model, get your sister. But that's for the very, 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 very beginning of your career. That's like when you have nothing to show, when you have nothing to show, then you grab your sister. You understand? But when you ink up just a little bit, once you get past your sister, right? And you get your first photo shoot, you get your first something, yeah, all of that goes out the window. That's just for you to show people you can do something. That's what that's about. It's not something you're going to do forever. You're going to do it for a very short period of time in your career. Okay? And so that's why I say, go get your sister, go get your mother, go get her, because you just want to show people, I can do makeup. But once you pass that, look, I can do makeup, they go out the wayside unless they are models. And then you can use them. If they're not models, bye. They don't look like a model. They don't have that bone structure. They can't carry off your look. Bye. So it's very important for you guys to understand when I say get your sister, get your mother, get your whatever, that I mean that for people who have nothing. If you already have something to show, you best to show it on the right person. And a hair person needs to show it on the right person. I want you to look up that magazine. I don't know if it's still in existence, to be honest with you, but I'm sure it's archived somewhere. It's called Highlights, and I think the lights are spelled Lights. Highlights. It was a stunning magazine. If you were to purchase it, it cost $30. It was not a cheap magazine. It was one of those big magazines printed on the most beautiful paper. I was very honored to be in that magazine several times. My work, not me, but my work personally was in those magazines. It was better than Vogue to me. That I love that magazine. And when you see the creativity that came out of that particular magazine, you will die. Your jaw, everything will drop because it's so beautiful. Yes, look up more industry-driven, high-end magazines online, see what you can come up with. So Celeste says, I do that now. I love customizing, even making, you must be wigs. Okay, making wigs from scratch. Yeah, my friend, he does not all the time, but he does Lady Gaga's wigs. I've worked with him, Isaac. I work with Isaac. When we're all kids in the business, and so we grew up together in this business, and it's nice to see some of my friends just doing so amazing. And yeah, he does every now and then he'll do like a super duper duper wig for Lady Gaga, some shit like that. He's really dope. But yeah, he works on wigs. I don't have anything around me to show you, but we did a couple of shoots together. He created the most amazing dreadlocky look. It was just a test we were doing. We were trying to do like a fashion look for Narnia's White Witch. I think it's still on my Instagram. Let's see if I can show you. It was beautiful, but he did this. He did this amazing thing. So you have to be able to do various things. So again, just think of it. I don't know what I'm doing. Just think of all the different kinds of things that you can do and start showcasing that in your portfolio. But please get models who know what they're doing. That's all I ask. Please. Please get models that know what they're doing. Yes, but most of the time people are doing it on top of wigs. Most of the time it's a wig and it's not somebody's hair. No, that's not much. Oh, here it is. I know it's kind of hard. I don't know if I hold it up. There. Oh, you can't really see his hair there. But that was the white witch that we were trying to do. But it was the dreadlock was just, I couldn't even get it in the picture. It was so big. It was beautiful. But he literally made her hair, let me see, dreadlocky. He made her hair dreadlocky. Oh, if you keep touching the wrong thing. He made, oh, there's Isaac. He made her hair dreadlocky. It was crazy. It was nutty damn cuckoo. And I think, see, like, this is more of his work. I don't know who did this, but this is not my work. This is just Isaac's. But come on, this is all wigs. So, and this is what I'm saying, like, start looking up people who do wigs and stuff like that and seeing how they shoot and how it looks and all those things. So much fun. There's too much fun in what you do, my darling. Too much. Check out this dope ass wig he did here. Hold up. Come on, Isaac. In, out. There. Do you see how theatrical it is and how much fun it is? It's fun. I love what you guys do. It's so much fun. Isaac's dope. He's so dope. But if you see the makeup, how the makeup goes along with the look. So it's not just about your hair, sweetie. It's about the whole thing. Here's another one. This is not my makeup, and I wish it were. I'm going to go in and come out. Let me see. Oh, it's not really showcasing. It's so beautiful on the screen. God diggy dag it. Come on. Focus. It's not really focusing the way I wanted to. It's not really showing you. It's beautiful. Like, if you see it in real life, it's beautiful. But I'm just trying to get you to see that it's the totality of a picture. It's not just your hair. Don't focus just on hair. I want you to focus on the whole thing. You have to find a makeup artist. You have to find a hairstylist. You might want to find a fashion stylist. You want to find these people to showcase your work, okay? My computer's dying. I have to go. So anyway, I love hair. I do airbrush as a compliment to the hair. Yes, honey, do your stuff. Isaac is Isaac. What is Isaac's last name? Yeah, that's what I thought. His name is Isaac Davidson Hair. And if I can type this out before my computer goes. Isaac, how you spell Isaac? How you spell Isaac? Oh, it's been so long. Isaac David. Make sure I'm spelling right. Davidson Hair. And he's on Instagram. You might want to check him out. It's really cool. I think he's great. So that's it. I'm going to go because my computer just flashed and said, Biatch, you forgot to plug me in. I did. So I'm going to go. But thank you guys for staying and talking New York with me and rental apartment and all that fun stuff. I will be back next week, 7 o'clock. Okay. I ain't got no classes. So thank you guys. Don't forget, give thumbs up. Don't forget, leave questions down below if you have them and all that good stuff. And I will be back next week at 7. Okay. Goodbye, guys. Have a good night.